Welcome back to the channel. Hi everyone. Today we are going to be crocheting the Zinnia Face Scrubbie. This will be an update from a previous video that I did just to update the quality and make sure that it's easier for you guys to follow along. Today you will be needing your 8 or 5 millimeter crochet hook. You can also use the I9 hook, but today that's what I'll be using is my 5 millimeter. I will also be using I Love This yarn, or I Love This cotton from Hobby Lobby. You'll need a yarn needle and some scissors. So go ahead and grab your supplies. For the yarn, you can also use Hobie cotton or any cotton that is worsted weight that is nice and soft, whatever you would like. And then the hook size only will make a difference for the actual size of the face scrubby. I like the 5 millimeter just because it makes it a little bit smaller for I have small hands, but you could totally use an I9 5.5 millimeter. So go ahead and grab your stuff. You need to know how to make a magic ring and how to puff stitch. And that's really just about it. Oh, and maybe some single crochet as well. Go ahead and grab your stuff and let's get started. Alrighty guys, so you are going to start by creating a magic ring. Now I double up my magic ring just to make it super secure, but you do not need to. Go ahead and chain 1. And then you're going to create your puff stitch, and this is going to be what I call like a 4-time puff stitch, where you will end up with 9 loops on your hook, and then you're going to chain 1, and you're going to repeat this for a total of 6 puff stitches and 6 chains. So it should be really, really simple. When you guys finish your 6th puff stitch and your final chain, to tighten a doubled magic ring, what you're going to do is you're going to pull a little bit on the tail to tighten up the first ring, and then you're actually going to pull that same ring to tighten up the second ring, the outside ring. And I've found that you just get it a little bit tight and then you can pull the tail and it'll tighten it up, and it'll basically double knot it so it doesn't come loose. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to slip stitch into the top of your first puff stitch, just like that, and then this will go ahead and join your first round. And now what you're going to do is you're going to chain 2, and in the top of that same stitch you're going to puff stitch again. And chain 1. And you're going to follow that same direction in every stitch around. So this will end up with 12 puff stitches and 12 chains for a total of 24 stitches. Now I do recommend that you pull up your loops when you are doing your puff stitches, especially for this second row, because you can kind of see it gets really tight. But you want to have a tighter tension as well. You don't want like too fluffy of puff stitches, otherwise your scrubby will more than likely fall apart. So you just need to have really consistent tension throughout the whole round, and just make sure that your puff stitches are all very similar in height and in size. So however it is easiest for you to do that, go ahead and do so. as you wrap up your second row, you want to make sure that you actually do have 12 puff stitches, and then you're going to join to the top of the first puff stitch with a slip stitch, and then you're going to chain 1, and you're going to single crochet in the top of the same stitch twice. And then in the next stitch, you're going to single crochet once. And you're going to alternate a single crochet increase and then a single crochet. And you're going to repeat that pattern all the way around. And you'll end up with 36 single crochets to create your border for your Zinnia Face Scrubbie. Now, I have noticed that sometimes it's easier to single crochet twice in certain stitches. I personally do it this way because that way I am single crocheting twice into the what would be the chain spaces. But if that is more difficult for you for whatever reason, you could always start off with just one single crochet and then do your single crochet increase. The goal though is just to make sure that you have 36 single crochets all the way around, and don't crochet them too tightly or your border will actually really tighten up the whole thing too much and it'll curl. So just make sure once again that you have really consistent tension all the way through, all the way around, and just make sure that you're just watching it as you crochet, that you are not holding the yarn too tightly. All right, as you finish up your final round, you're going to once again join with a slip stitch to the top of the first single crochet, and then you're going to fasten off using your scissors, and I'm actually going to thread the yarn needle on and I'll show you how to make your fasten off invisible so that way you can't even tell. So with the yarn needle, you are actually going to insert on like above the stitch or on the one side, and then you're going to pull all the way through, and then you're going to reinsert in the middle of the V from the previous stitch, so that way you won't even be able to tell where the knot is. So you can see right there. So now it just looks like another stitch, and then that way it just looks a lot more seamless instead of having a big old knot be there on the outside where people can see it. So especially if you're giving this away as a gift, I find that that's just a much prettier way, or if you're making them for markets, it's a much prettier way to kind of wrap up your face scrubby. Plus I feel like it just makes it actually look like a circle. There's no weird bump or anything. So then you just want to weave in your ends, and I just go back and forth once, and I have not had an issue with them coming undone. And so this is what it'll look like, your little Zinnia Face Scrubbie. And then the center, because we double knotted, we don't have to worry quite as much about the magic ring coming undone, but I'm always a little nervous about it, so I always go around the magic ring a couple more times, or even just really just making sure it's in the center of the stitches really tight, because if you're a beginner crocheter, you might not know this, but the magic rings can always be kind of tricky because eventually if you wash them or whatever, they tend to kind of loosen up. That's why I like the double magic rings. It really tightens things up. And then you're going to go ahead and just clip your ends. And there you are. You now have your Zinnia Face Scrubbie. I hope you guys really enjoy this pattern and that you are able to use it for your gifts, whether for Valentine's Day or just for a gift for a friend. If you did enjoy it, please like and subscribe to the channel and let me know how this goes for you. Thanks guys for watching. Have a great day.